Hey guys, Gabe Suarez here from Suarez Tactics. Every once in a while, I'll get an email or a contact through Patreon or through Facebook or whatever asking to clarify something that we've been doing for ages. Okay, to recap, this whole red dot thing, whether people want to say so or not, Suarez International started all of that stuff back in 2009 and brought it to fruition in 2010 with the advent of the RMR at that particular SHOT Show. We were the first to put these on pistols like they're seen in the world today, almost in every holster. Okay, so we've been doing this for a long, long fucking time, and we know how to set this up, and we know why. Okay, so the topic is co-witnessing. All right, I want to do another video. I've done a few of these before in the past, and and I think what happens is that there's so much information out there, 90% of it bullshit, and what happens is that the diamonds get covered with bullshit, and people forget about them. I think honestly that the shelf life for any bit of information is probably about 4 or 5 months. After that, everybody forgets about it, and they're on to the new TikTok video of cats dancing or something. But anyway, so I want to talk about this again. All right, co-witnessing. All right, now let me step over here so that I don't disappear from camera. Okay, co-witnessing. Okay, the pistol has two sighting systems, two different sighting systems. They do not work together. They're supposed to work separately. That means that if you have a pistol that's co-witnessed like this, okay, like this one here, and I take off the holosun, I can go to the range and I can hit at 10 yards with my iron sights. That's the first sighting system. Conversely, I can put the holosun back on, knock off these iron sights, okay, and as long as the holosun remains zeroed, I can go and shoot the same size group at the same distance. There are two separate sighting systems, all right? Now, the irons and the dot must be independently zeroed at the same distance, okay? You don't have the iron zeroed at 25 yards and the dot zeroed at 10 or vice versa or whatever. That defeats the whole purpose of everything, okay? They must be zeroed independently at the same distance. Now, there's a lot of pistols out there, and what they'll do is they shave off the entire ass end of the slide. They put a plate on here that's got, this fixed rear sight, okay? You can't drift it, you can't zero anything else. Wherever it happens to be, that's where it's going to be. And then they pop the dot on there, then you zero the dot. Well, the problem with that is that the iron sights could be zeroed at one distance because of mechanical zero, and then the dot could be zeroed at a different distance. So what you'll have, you won't have this configuration here, okay? Now, why is this important? And look, and I've got this co-witness here, two different types. The dot sitting right on top or being divided in half, in essence, by the front sight, or the dot on the center part of the front sight, which is what my preference is. I run tritium on all my pistols, and so I like that dot covering the tritium element visually, okay? All right, now, independently zeroed at the same distance. That means that when you bring your pistol up in the morning and you take a look, okay, what you're going to see is you're going to see that, okay? All right, now, number one, it allows immediate visual transition if you lose the dot in a fight, okay? Now, look, I'm not interested in shooting matches or anything. I have nothing against those people, but their discipline is not my discipline, okay? In a fight, if you lose sight of the dot, immediately you have a visual immediate action drill, just like a visual tap rack. You go to the irons, and you can carry on with the fight if the dot has somehow malfunctioned, or if you visually lost the dot by going to the irons, you will visually regain the dot, okay, because of this configuration here. All right. Number two, verifies unchanged zero. That means when you pick up your blaster in the morning, you go forth to do God's work, okay, you visually check, yeah, that dot's exactly where it was last night, okay, and then you check the magazine, and you check the chamber, everything's good to go, off you go forth and be tactical, okay? But you need to be able to do this so you can always trust that dot 100%. Okay, if you wake up in the morning and the irons are there and your dot's over there, something went wrong. Okay, and now you can take steps to either fix it or change it or maybe select a different pistol for that day until you debug whatever the problem is here. Now, do problems happen all the time with dots? No, not anymore, especially not with holosons. Okay, but it is an issue that you need to be aware of. All right, just like you put your seatbelt on and you have an airbag in your car, just in case. Doesn't mean you're going to go out and get in a head-on collision with somebody, but shit happens, okay? Same thing here, all right? So allows immediate visual transition if you lose the dot, verifies an unchanged 0, which allows you to trust that dot 100%. That's important, okay? Instant 0 if the dot is removed. Let's say that, you know, I need to take this off because I need to really clean this pistol or you know, somehow this dot, you know, I want to change out from the 407K to an EPS or whatever. Okay, great. Take it off, put the other one on, make sure that it points, that the dot is sitting in the same spot on the front side as the other one. And I guarantee you can go to the range and fire group using that dot and that dot will be on, okay? If your slide has been cut properly by someone that knows. All right, so instant 0 if the dot is removed. And then the last thing, okay, and this is important for people that are transitioning from irons only to dot, it creates a situation where they are training wheels for the eye to pick up the dot. You know, you've drawn your pistol and you come up and you do this, you know, 1,000 times. Okay, hackathorn is wrong, and I pointed it out in the video. Where the eye is accustomed to picking up, all of a sudden there's a bright red or bright green dot right there. Immediately the eye is going to go to it and it's going to ignore the iron sights, okay? But the iron sights are as a training wheel for those eyes to pick up the dot, okay? All right, now where this becomes an issue is I've got some friends that are doing law enforcement transition training. You know, these cops are always late to the party, okay? You know, and so now it's like everybody's got to do transition training for dot. Okay, all right, whatever. Okay, there is, in California, okay, unless they've changed this from the last time that I talked to my associate, they require this to be in existence. In other words, the irons aligned, the dot aligned, and the eye picking up the dot and the irons together before the shot is broken. They require that as this is a necessary thing to do before you fire the shot. Okay, listen, guys, that is wrong. Okay, that is wrong. Co-witness needs to exist for these reasons. Okay, but you don't use co-witness when you're drawing and shooting or when you're firing for marksmanship or whatever. Okay, if you're doing that, what I suggest you do is you consciously now, the next time you go to the range, center the dot in the window. Okay, I know the irons are down here. Don't worry about the irons. Ignore the irons. Okay, center the dot in the window and go through your drills with that dot centered in the window and see what happens. Okay, now that doesn't mean that you don't need irons. Okay, a lot of the bullet golfers are saying, "Well, you know, you don't need irons. Just center the dot." I got it, but you know what? If you lose a match, what happens? You buy everybody drinks. You go home. You go like this. You re-zero your pistol. You come back the next week. If you lose a fight on the street, you are fucking dead. So you don't have the luxury to come back next week and try again. That's why we have this, and that's why that is important, okay? All right? There's no second chances in a street fight. That's why we are so pedantic about this sort of thing. People don't seem to understand. A fight and a match are two different things, okay? So you develop this so you can trust and verify continually, and so you have an immediate action drill in the event that you lose the dot, okay? But when you go and you shoot like this. You center that dot in the window. Don't worry about the iron sights and go. You got to be able to trust the dot, and you trust the dot because you have co-witness and you verify every single time you leave the house in the morning, okay? That, my friends, is co-witness from the people that invented the goddamn situation in the first place. All right, peace out.